Colossal Biosciences and the Genetic Resurrection of the Dire Wolf, the illusion of de-extinction and the hidden agenda, the hype and the headlines. Colossal Biosciences, the Dallas-based biotech company, famously funded by bold investors and boosted by billionaire buzz, has made headlines with its controversial mission to resurrect extinct species. The company has cast itself as the Noah's Ark of the genomics age, from the woolly mammoth to the Tasmanian tiger. But now, Colossal is pushing the envelope further, claiming it is on the verge of genetically engineering a dire wolf, the legendary apex predator of the Pleistocene epoch. Yet beneath the glitter of TED Talks and tech conferences lies a darker truth. Colossal is not resurrecting extinct species and is not telling the whole story. It is engaging in a clever rebranding of genetic manipulation, misleading the public, and possibly laying the groundwork for a dystopian biological future. The myth of the dire wolf. Resurrection. Colossal's claim to be reviving the dire wolf, Canis dirus, relies on the flawed assumption that recreating similar genetic traits in modern canids is equivalent to resurrecting an extinct animal. The dire wolf was not simply a big gray wolf, it was a genetically distinct species, with differences in bone density, jaw structure, social behavior, and, most importantly, genetic lineage. Recent studies indicate that dire wolves were not even closely related to modern gray wolves. According to a 2021 paper in Nature, their DNA diverged from other canids nearly 6 million years ago, and they shared no recent ancestry with wolves, coyotes, or domestic dogs. In truth, Colossal is not resurrecting the dire wolf. It is attempting to engineer a modern canid to look and behave like one, essentially a hybrid chimera. That's not resurrection, that's mimicry. At best, it is a scientific approximation. At worst, it's a dishonest repackaging of transgenic experimentation designed to attract venture capital and inflate public curiosity. What Colossal isn't saying, the limits of ancient DNA, let's be clear. No complete DNA genome of a dire wolf has ever been recovered. Unlike mammoths preserved in the Siberian permafrost, dire wolf remains were not frozen. Their bones, mainly found in the La Brea tar pits and similar sites, have undergone significant degradation. DNA recovery in such environments is sparse, fragmented, and chemically compromised. Without a whole genome, any effort to bring back the dire wolf requires filling in the gaps with DNA from living species, which inevitably introduces modern contamination and renders the final product something else entirely. This process, called proxy editing, is not de-extinction. Creationism in the lab uses evolutionary approximations and guesswork to conjure something new. Ethical theater and the distraction from real conservation. While Colossal boasts about de-extinction as a bold step forward for conservation, the ethical sleight of hand is clear. How does building a fake dire wolf save the species being wiped out today? Billions are poured into speculative projects while actual endangered wolves, red wolves, Ethiopian wolves, and even American gray wolves are being shot, poisoned, and pushed out of their habitats. Real conservation requires preserving habitats, protecting species from poachers, and curbing globalist corporate overreach that destroys ecosystems in the name of climate virtue signaling. But Colossal offers a techno-utopian fantasy that distracts from the uncomfortable truth. Humans are actively erasing species, not passively watching them fade. The hidden agenda, playing God and profiting from patents. Why lie about bringing back the dire wolf? The answer is as old as Genesis 3:5, ye shall be as gods. Colossal's deeper goal is not just de-extinction, it's ownership. If the company successfully creates a genetically modified proxy animal, whether a dire wolf or a mammoth, it can patent it. That's right. Wildlife laws do not protect these lab-designed creatures. They're intellectual property. Colossal is creating biological assets that can be leased, sold, or weaponized. It's woolly mammoths in frozen tundra to carbon sink the Earth today. Tomorrow it could be hyper-aggressive engineered predators for crowd control, law enforcement, or private military use. The line between biotech and biowarfare is thin, and once broken, it's irreparable. Theological concerns, when man mimics the creator. From a Christ perspective, Colossal's work represents more than just scientific deception. It represents its spiritual rebellion. Man was made in God's image, and animals were created after their kind. Genesis 1:25. The attempt to reassemble extinct creatures from parts of others mimics the Tower of Babel, a defiant act of godlike ambition. De-Extinction plays with the boundaries of life and death, denying the natural order and inserting human pride in place of divine sovereignty. These resurrected proxies are not part of God's created order. They are the result of human manipulation. As with transhumanism, transgenderism, and AI-driven governance, this is another step toward a post-human future ruled by technocrats rather than truth. Conclusion: the dire truth about the dire wolf. Colossal Biosciences wants you to believe it's saving the world by bringing back extinct species. In truth, it is creating synthetic proxies, distorting creation, and misleading the public for financial and ideological gain. The Dire Wolf Project is not about science. It's about spectacle, control, and the reshaping of nature into man's image. It is a colossal lie wrapped in futuristic fantasy. Let us not be deceived by glossy headlines and TED Talk messiahs. The true resurrection is found in Christ alone, not in labs that mimic life, but in the Creator who holds life and death in his hands.